Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. It's sad to see so many musical greats leave us recently. I'm sure that right now Jimmy's enjoying a cheeseburger in paradise. It was not talked about as much, but the great dreamweaver Gary Wright died last week. His contribution to music and to the solo career of George Harrison cannot be underestimated. Fly me high through the starry skies, maybe to an astral plane. Across the highways, fantasy. Help me forget today's pain. Dream. I believe you can get me through the night. I believe we can reach the morning light. And we do want to forget our pain and move forward. And how apropos a song this is with Yom Kippur coming. When we do get a chance to get through the night and be inscribed in the Book of Life, Kativa v'chatima tova, good inscription at sealing. And of course, another memorial event occurs this week. It's 9/11. Here we are over 20 years later, and the memory is real for so many. 9/11 is a time to come together to say goodbye and good night to the souls of the over 3,000 who were taken needlessly in a horrible act of war and cowardly terror that targeted only civilians. It wasn't a military thing. Saying goodbye to the souls of the lost has been a part of our makeup since the beginning of time. It was built into the calendar as the original and once only memorial service, Yizkor, of the time. The opening word in a prayer, meaning may God remember, Yizkor, and which became the public memorial service only held at Yom Kippur. And then it became a part of all the gathering times. So it's done 4 times a year now. So take the time now to light a candle for the souls who are gone. You don't have to know any of them to honor them and still say goodbye and good night. And don't be afraid to include anybody who you've lost. Now it's time to say good night. Good night. Sleep tight. Now the sun turns out its light. Good night. Sleep tight. Dream. Sweet dream. With me. Dream sweet dreams for you. And we will be lighting candles for any and all who want us to on Yom Kippur. So keep sending in the names of those you want candles lit for. We do it every year. So it's less than a week now. We're going to be in the days of awe. The high holidays, or holy days, if you will. Holidays suggest fun. Holy days do not connote the same. Now, there's an auspiciousness attached to them. And these 10 days are designed to be working days because you examine yourself as you stand before the celestial court. Answer the questions of the assessors. And in a society told not to judge, we do an awful lot of judging. This is where we judge ourselves. We'll be standing together, but separately. Just as we stood together, but separately on the mountain when we heard the voice of God give us the rules for life. But now, it's in the celestial court. So we judge ourselves, being judged, seeking forgiveness, granting forgiveness. In effect, we will be starting over. Now, how many times have you wished you could start over? Well, every year you can. Maybe not everything, but choose one thing. Do it over and you will change the trajectory of your life. It's been too long since we took the time that once to blame. I know it goes so quickly. But when I see you, darling, it's like we both are falling in love, forget we both do. Just like starting over. Starting over. Now you can start over. Your key ingredient is love. Yes, my friends, it's our annual gathering to examine our souls. Have we kept to the path we were destined for? Have we strayed? Were we good to the world? Were we kind, forgiving, honorable? There are many questions we are asked. You see them in the Vidwi prayer of the Yom Kippur service, and we will go through that service and that prayer before Yom Kippur. We've been preparing ourselves for most of this month, whether we realized it or not. That's why this is a month without any holidays in it. Get ready to celebrate the first day, Rosh Hashanah, with a meal, including apples and honey. It's our entreaty to God to say we hope for a sweet year, so we hope to be inscribed in the book of life. It's not a one-shot deal. There's always time. If you miss the 10 days, you don't have to wait another year for it to come around again. You don't know when you will be moved to examine, to change, to improve. But you will be moved. Sooner or later, everybody is. So go with the flow. Be prepared to make changes. Self-examination takes time, my friends. It takes effort. If we're not doing it before, and probably most of us were not, Rosh Hashanah simply served as that kickstart of the year for them. And that's why it's such an important holiday in which we seek and grant forgiveness. It's the wake-up call to examine ourselves, to make the changes that are necessary to make. Continue using those days. Fix yourself. Make amends. Be the bigger person. Tell the people who have meaning in your life that they have meaning in your life. It's the only way they'll ever know. I know you're sitting there saying they know. They may not. Do not guess. Make sure they know. You all have meaning to me, and I want you to know that. And you all have meaning to other people, and other people have meaning to you. But if you don't tell them and they don't tell you, it's just a guess. Don't guess. Now, I know you've all been working on your forgiveness mechanism. Forgiveness is such an important part of love, and it's a very big part. You still have time to think about all this. Who do you need to forgive? Sometimes, friends, we let ourselves be too judgmental, and being judgmental can stand in the way of forgiveness. And sometimes it's our fear, particularly our fear of vulnerability, and we are fearful creatures. Today, allow that magical presence to bestow forgiveness in your heart. It's one of the greatest and unfortunately least used gifts of God. We're so busy with the need to find peace in a troubled world, and in so doing, it's important to cultivate compassion for ourselves before we can extend it to others. When we're willing to surrender to our utter helplessness and smallness, strength and the capacity to transform an unjust situation can emerge. Let yourself feel those feelings course through your veins. You're much more powerful than you realize. Each of you is a generator and transformer of energy. Decide what you want to share, what you want your energy to be. Like when we share beliefs. As we gather in our group, as we celebrate a collective consciousness of seekers showing faith, any and all faith, we don't care. Love, any and all love. We see the commonality of all, the preciousness of each, because we are a community. We are a giant group. We're just individual cells. We are a chavura, which means fellowship. As we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes, it just unites us all in the community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. As we share and bring light, we keep fear at bay, we help each other. So once again, please go ahead. Invite everybody you know, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way at all, to gather and share from Psalm 133. Hinei matov, hinei matov. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside a little bit of sacred time in your sacred space to honor and converse with whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. It's part of your kavanah, your intention, that word I like to use. You put that intention out to the universe. It's your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you can control, of what you can correct, and this is the time to correct. the things you need to. It's your intention that sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives. So let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's send some of that goodwill, some light healing out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing, renewal for everybody. It just floats through space finding those in need. So you don't even have to focus on somebody, but think of whoever you know that needs healing and renewal and love, or maybe just even goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people, it's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. Tikkun olam, healing of the world. It's a part of who we are genetically. We have to help heal the world. Each of us must do what we can to improve and change our own little corner of the universe, because as we do, we change the conditions of life. A part of the healing of the world is our sending thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. Now, they don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy out for the people in need, everybody. But let's send those special thoughts and prayers for those who have special medical conditions that need it. We pray for those who need prayer, because prayer is an incredibly effective method of communication with God, of entreating, of helping ourselves and others. We don't have to know them. We want health, recovery, good life for everybody around us. For Jesse and Alex, for Gloria and Kay, for Terry and Luke, for Daria, Maria, for Johnny and Fern, Connie, Ronnie, Danny, Nina, for all those suffering and in need. Let's not forget to include the familiars of our lives, all of our sacred animal friends everywhere, for everybody you know in need, for the whole world, and always for the bee. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit never dies. Avocated, the core. May the soul slip straight. Bless the one before us. Help us find the courage. Take a laugh, the blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Each miracle let us all of our spirits renew. It's a great prayer for healing, because we call upon God to heal us. He's healed before. Mishaberach, may he who bless, because all healing is a blessing. So let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. This week we have a double reading. Two pretty small ones, actually, and for all intents and purposes, it really marks the end of the Torah as the baton is passed from Moses to Joshua. Yes, there's a reading after the holidays to technically end the book, but that's a different kind of reading, and you'll see why when we do it. Now, this week we read nitzavim and vayalach. You were standing, and he went. Now, we're encouraged to choose life in this, and we are, of course, entering the holiday when we tell God that we are choosing life, and we hope that he, she, it, whatever God's pronoun is, it's probably all of them, hears us. So we're going to choose life. And we're saying, God, we want to choose life. But I want to focus a little bit on the second one, the one called Vayalech, and he went. It's a simple three-letter word. Think of it as YLC. Don't forget there was no vowels in biblical Hebrew, just the letters. So we're guessing at what some of the words were and what some of the pronunciation was. But Vayalech is not what it was called. We began the Torah with some incorrect interpretations, and we saw them throughout where letters got transposed. We're ending with another one of those errors. In all likelihood, the word was not Vayalech, but Vayachal. So instead of VLC, it would have been VCL. Simple transposition error of two letters, but it changed the meaning radically from and he went to and he finished. And you know what? That works a lot better. And Moses went where? He just told us he's 120 years old and doesn't move around so well. I'm not quite that old, and I don't move around like I used to. But something else points to the likelihood of this having been a transposition error. Both the Septuagint and the Qumran texts have, and Moses finished speaking all these things, and he finished. It just makes more sense. Now, the great farewell address, which dominates the book of words, has come to a conclusion. And as it does, there's two major highlights in what we read. Joshua formally becoming Moses' successor, and a rule that's instituted about reading the law every 7 years. Wait a second, we read it every year. Now, there are events in life that make major disturbances in the force. We have them collectively and we have them individually. The Bible teaches us to look at things in both these ways, individually and collectively. And one of the most interesting collective ways is this rule to read the law every 7 years. 7 is the number of creation and completion in Judaism. People worked and survived. They needed a day of ceasing, hence the Sabbath, in which they could regenerate. It was mandated. The land was farmed and worked for 6 of 7 years. It needed a year of ceasing. So the Sabbath of the land was mandated. There were no books. There were no formal services. There was nobody gathering in a temple service. There were 3 gathering festivals and a few other holidays like Passover, which was a family event. So it makes perfect sense that the law be read every 7 years, not every year. Many hundreds of years later, this idea of breaking the Torah into small sections to be read annually came into being. But before then, it was every 7 years. And probably it was done during the sabbatical year because you wouldn't be busy farming. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. If you want to read the law once every 7 years, be my guest. But the rest of you want to continue to do it every year, be my guest with that too. Share it honor the light, all who live in the light. Continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace, freedom, and for everybody. An end to terror and hatred, because we are a community, my friends. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We're all part of the great heart. We love each other. We share this right together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love. Open your hearts and honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. And examine your intentions and use them to print your will on the universe. But feel free to change them when you feel you've gone off course. We set in motion all that happens in our lives. It's our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect. It's all linked. You have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness and compassion is acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world, just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. And please work to be present in the body. Examine yourself. And as you do so, expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of your real power, it lies in your consciousness, in your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. You may not realize it, but you're forever blessed, and you have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet, because all we do is transform energy. We can't destroy it. Your words are your power to transform, to love. So be generous with them. As you bless others, you bless yourself, and love with the heart, because we are all part of that greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not, and continue to explore faith and what it means to you. And never accept shame as a natural state, because whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. we help each other because we're each of us simply trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives. So find them, tell them what they mean. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive. Keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. And listen to that voice of God as he, she, it talks to you. And start answering those questions you'll be facing because you are going to be answering those questions. Have you lived the fullness of life all around? Been generous to the needy? Have you shared what you had? Have you lusted for more? Been jealous, been angry or greedy? Have you lived in the light and in laughter? Have you always defended the weak? Have you stolen or lied? Have you encouraged and tried to follow the desires of your heart that you seek? Questions of life, questions of death, the questions we ask with our final breath are the questions and answers of our souls. Be prepared to answer those questions, my friends. Answer them, and you'll be inscribed and sealed for a good life. Now, thank you all for joining me. Celebrate freedom and love. Let the world know that you walk in faith and trust and love. And keep believing in yourself. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.